This is Lady Myya. Hello, you guys. Woohoo! It's another podcast is in the house. Huh? It is. Y'all know what the deal is. Okay, we've got company. Okay, so her name is Miss Helen. So she's got a whole long name, okay? So it's Baskerville-Dukes, okay? Like Mama Dukes, this is Mama Dukes right here. She is awesome. Okay, so how about this? Y'all know what I did. Yeah, we was chatting it up and, sister was talking too much as usual. So we were chatting it up and she told me about her book. And I'm so happy that she's given me the opportunity to talk about this book. So you guys, Miss Helen, she has been doing so much for so long. And I am about to explode, you guys, because all the things that she did is everything I want to do with my life. Okay.
I love it.
Well, my lion tribe, please welcome Miss Helen.
Hi. Thank you, Myya. Thank you for inviting me on the show. Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. We thank you. Your energy is just exploding. I'm trying to maintain my composure, and I do apologize in advance.
It's all right.
So,
I love your energy. Go ahead.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Helen.
Oh, gee, where do you want me to start? I don't know. That's that question, when my mother was pregnant with me. No. I'll start where I became really relevant to why I'm on here, which is my writing. So, one day I had changed churches, and we were looking for a church. And I woke up and I just started writing. Literally started writing. And so the first thing I started writing was actually a screenplay. It was called April Showers. Now I'm just going to go back really quick. Before that, I was the first rapper in Rhode Island, female rapper, that is. Yeah. So I don't want to say I just woke up writing. Like literally, I wrote raps, and I can remember a couple other things from school that I've written, but nothing to say, hey, I'm a writer. It was just, classwork. But anyway, so I had just one day again, I woke up and just started writing. I was like, wow, I just want to write a movie. So I had gone to the library, did some research on how to write a screenplay, and I finished it. I marketed to Universal Studios, Oprah Winfrey, Spike Lee, T.D. Jakes, blah, blah, blah. And I've gotten responses from every one of them. No one wanted it, but it was okay. I got responses. But the Universal Studios was the one that made the most difference, because they said in order for me to be able to submit my movie, I had to have an agent. So I was like, okay. So I contacted some agents. The agents were like, well, you need experience. Like, how do you get experience? Okay. So I said, you know what? To get all this, I'll start my own company. And then that's when I started Inspired by Grace Production. And from there, my movie, nothing happened, but it was okay. I had ended up finding a new church with my family. And I had let a couple of people read my script, and then Black History rolled around, and a sister, her name was Sabrina Baristi. I always, shout out her name just because it was her that helped bring out my gift. So she was like, hey, you want to write a Black History play? I was like, absolutely, So I had read about Sojourner Truth, so I made a play based on her book. And once we did the Black History play, my pastor was like, you did that? I was like, yeah, He was like, all right, And then so Sabrina was like, hey, we should do another play, a bigger play, take it, outside the church. I was like, oh, absolutely, And that didn't happen for a couple of years, but when it did, and we produced it with a fundraiser for the church. It was like, this is what I want to do. I love it. I love it. I didn't realize how much I loved writing and telling stories. So from there, that was in 2002, my first play, and all the way up until I produced my last play, which was in 2018, which was called Men Hurt Too, which I am turning into a book. I'm sorry about that. So here we are with my book, Why I Am Out Here, Therapy Fix. So I don't know. I'm going to stop from there. Here I am. That was in a nutshell.
Now, I got questions.
Okay.
Okay, so when you started, you said you had to start your own business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, how did that even look when you started a production company?
Well, I just did some research on how do I start my business. And I had gone down to our city hall, registered my business name, got a tax ID number, and just began to put in the work. Looking for venues to do my plays, found some venues, made the down payment, cast. All in the very beginning, my plays came with music, so I had written my own music. So I found musicians, composed my own music, the whole gamut, and from play to play to play, it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be in terms of people coming out to support.
Right.
I knew a lot of people because I was a rapper. And even after my first play, people were like, oh, I heard you produced a play, and then, when I did the next play, oh, so when you're going to do your next play? I'm like, well, if you come to my play, I can keep doing this.
More.
Yeah. Thank you. But, I kept trying to build a nightlife scene here, and in terms of the performing arts and building my business and things of that nature. And it was tough. And then we had started renting out. There was this church. We started renting out. They had a stage adjacent to their sanctuary. And from there, when I really prayed about it, and I was like, okay, God, I'm not going to say that people aren't supporting it anymore. All those negative things that we always say.
Right.
And then from there, we started selling out. It was a smaller venue. And, just doing more plays. I think the more plays I did, it was too much for us. I don't think they were used to that. So I was trying to do 4 to 6 plays a year. I think it was too much.
Now, when was this?
All right, so my first 2012 to 2014, and then I started back up in 2016 to 2018, and that's where my book, Why I'm On Here. So I started writing my book on Facebook in 2015 to keep my audience. Because I knew it was going to be a minute before I had done another play, produced another play. So I started writing daily posts, trying to, dabble with writing a book. And it worked out. It really did.
That is so cool. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that you were in the theater, and you started a business as well.
Mm-hmm.
That is like big, like super big. And now you have a book. And so, okay. So when you were in the life of being, or at least, coming in contact with people that are in the theater, like, how did you find working with them? Were they kind of dedicated? Were they kind of like, here or there from fair weather, kind of situation? How was that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, because I'm a church girl, so a lot of my contacts were in church. A lot of people I dealt with, so I saw the potential, I saw the talent right away. Rather it was acting and singing, or just helping out. So that's where I pulled from. Right. But I found that the people, sometimes those with the most talent, especially the singers, were, if they didn't get immediate gratification, that was where most of the problem was in terms of the dedication. And sometimes I see, because people with those types of gifts are always being used, especially inside of the church. So, you come across someone who has talent and you work with them, you think something's going to turn out right away. And it doesn't. Also, we have to understand that if we're working with people, it's their business, not yours. It's their vision, not yours.
Exactly.
So in terms of understanding their vision and doing your part and staying in your lane. And I realized the larger the cast, the more difficult it was to schedule and things of that nature, because we're dealing with people also who have a life.
Yeah.
Rather than mostly everyone works in the daytime and maybe one cast member works at night. So how do you finagle all those schedules to work together, especially when all these parts are intertwined?
Yeah.
So I found some hurdles there, but for the most part, the cast I did work with, they were genuinely great, and helpful. They saw it, but I think it took more than just the people behind the scenes to see it. It took also
people to see it.
Yeah, the patrons.
Oh wow, I love it. This is my life. Oh my gosh, you guys don't know. Okay, so I'll tell y'all later. If you really want to hear it, just DM me. Okay. But I think it's so awesome. Okay, so can you give us a just a smidge of the book? What's that?
Well, Therapy 6. So, like I told you, I love telling stories. And while I was trying to keep my audience, I was like, okay. So I'm always thinking in my mind, what can I talk about or write about? How can I get people excited about my writing? A page turner, like, oh, no way. But I also, again, I'm Christian, and I do believe in keeping some sort of decency in my writing, in terms of you won't find swearing in there. I would say some sexual connotation, but it. So or innuendos, when you're like, oh, I know where this is going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's me. Other people can write what they want to write. That's, exactly. And that's I don't know their relationship with the Lord, but I know mine. Do you know what I'm saying? So, so keeping that in mind. So I decided to write, of course. So Juanita, who is the main character, she's a businesswoman. And over the past few months, she's finding that her past abuses by her father and her ex-lover, now they're surfacing to the point where she can't eat, she can't sleep, she can't think, she's losing weight and all these things. So she confides in her sister, one of her sisters, and her sister recommends she goes to see a therapist. Of course, going to see a therapist is taboo. Like, oh no. But because she's not sleeping and she's not well now, she decided to take that leap. She also seeks a friend because she needs a therapist, a recommendation. She gets a recommendation to go see Dr. Kingston Price. And from day one, she's like, oh. Oh, I mean, what about you is fine now. Yeah. So she's immediately attracted to him, but throughout the story, what do I tell him? What don't I? Do I continue to see him? And he also finds himself attracted to her.
Mm.
But then there's, the code of ethics,
Right.
he's not willing to risk his license over, right. Exactly. Exactly. But there's some drama in there. So it's yes. But also, after this book, I just started writing e-chapters for part 2, the sequel, Therapy Fix, Love Ties. So my publisher, we decided to do something a little different, still giving people more. So, on Amazon, well, first on her website, we upload chapters each month. But then we upload the previous chapter to Amazon. So the first chapter is on Amazon. The first and second chapter is on her website.
Okay.
And so next year, I know I'm just going on. I don't know where to stop.
No, I think it's gaining traction, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. So next year, by April, I'll have 4 different books up on her website doing e-chapters. So by the time April rolls around, you can get a new e-chapter once a week of a new book. So it's between Therapy Fix, 64 Berkeley Street, Shade, or Convictions, and I'm just dabbling with a few other things. So that's it. I just love writing. So if I could do this all day, every day, yes.
Yes, I'm with you. Like, I just need to be in a very quiet space. And just let me write. Oh my goodness, give me something to drink and just write. And I will just write all day. That is amazing.
Right, like I don't need anyone around me. I mean, I could do music, I could do TV, all that stuff can be on. Once I'm in my space to write, I don't care. You could be fighting someone. There could be a fight over there. It's like
fights. Right. Don't care.
Right.
That is so amazing. Okay. I love it. I think you guys, I felt my spirit person.
Well, I'm here for you as we talked beforehand. I think even if I help out a little bit and I can give you some information to help you miss some of those obstacles that I had to face, I'd be more than willing to. I just want to see you successful. That's your passion. That's what you want to do. There's so much fun in it. When my husband and I reminisce about our plays, we laugh, and sometimes, I still have some bruises and scars from some of them. But it was worth it. It was worth it. Would I do it again with the same outcome? Absolutely not. But
just like, now I know where to look. I'm going there.
Right, we won't go back.
No, I think that is absolutely amazing because I really tried initially with a lot of the plays that I would write, and I would go to a lot of the different churches and ask them, hey, let me do this. Now, I did produce one in I co-produced one in Chicago, and I produced one in Texas. So it was amazing. And I think it was just the bee's knees. It was just so awesome because these people were they're working. Oh my God, they're so talented.
I know. And then when you see your story come to life, you're like, that's awesome. And then sometimes, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, I want you to finish. I know you're interviewing me, but I love the energy when people can see and feel what I saw and I felt.
There was this, in Texas, they still ask me about this, and it's so funny to me because it's there was it was a scene. It was a Christmas scene. It was a holiday, I should say. It was a holiday themed. And so we were talking about the guy that was homeless, and, he came from nothing and different things like that. And, and he collapsed in front of his friends that were just so happened to walk up to him. And so he was a friend of mine, because I had to get into script because of the fact that, the person didn't show. I was like, Ah,
Been there, done that. Yeah.
well, see, you messed up. Now I'm going to have to act up. So I put my little lab coat on. I'm being a doctor and say, "Oh my gosh, hey, how you doing?" Girl, get this. "Oh, yeah, remember we was back in the day when we were in college, we was at that frat party and that stuff you used to do with the peanut butter." Yeah. And my pastor would not let me live it down, was like, "Hey, what happened with the peanut butter?"
Like, what you do?
Was like, "I don't know."
Right, and I don't want you preaching about it either.
What? She was like, "What was you doing with the peanut butter?" Oh, it wasn't me.
Yeah. IDK. I won't tell. I don't know.
Everybody was so happy. Just like, oh my God. It was like, oh, there's something with the peanut butter. It was like, no, but I mean, it's been years, but it's still funny.
No, it's okay. I get it. You have those moments where certain lines or certain things you've done, always gives right. You a chuckle or even a good laugh. Right. No, good for you though. Good for you.
Yes, I think like with you, right? You've done so much. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did she do that? How did she do this and that? And now she's got a book, and now she's got plenty of books coming out. And, I think, like, what is your drive? Like, what is it that you're trying to do or get to?
Well, with my production company, I actually saw what you see in Tyler Perry. I could do all that. And I'm not being conceited or any of those things. I just know where my gifts are, And a lot of that drive was generated about trying to create jobs in my community, where we see in a lot of Black communities where we're not thriving. I just saw a lot of guys going to jail for selling drugs, and then now, the shootings and all those things, and the effects it has on our economy and most definitely our communities. And I saw the lack of Black businesses, the lack of trust, the lack of support, all those things. And, my vision for that production company was to be something like a Tyler Perry, where initially I could pour in my gifts to build that, but then hone in on a lot of the other gifts, even as mine, to be able to build a production company. I prayed about it a lot, and some of the dreams and visions I had, I thought that was it. I really did. And I worked hard for years. And again, like I told you earlier, sacrificed a lot of my personal finances and put money back into the little bit of money I did make. It's very little. If I balanced it all out, I didn't really make any money, But I knew my purpose, and through it all, I learned what, one of my callings, one of the main callings is jobs, is to be able to build, So once I was done in 2018 with one of my last plays, I was actually thinking about doing another play this year in the very beginning before we knew about the pandemic, but it was like, I'll do it because a lot of people are like, hey, you're going to do another play. And I'm not being conceited or anything. I think it would do pretty well just because people know who I am now. And I haven't done a play. But I think that was just a foundational piece, because even in the dreams I've had, the stages were always dark. Nothing was ever going on. And I used to be a little afraid because I'm like, all right, God, what does that mean, But as I learned over the years, through prayer and just understanding the dreams, that's just a foundation. So that stage is going to be dark because it's not something that's going to be there permanently, So once I stopped doing plays and, just stay praying about it, and then realize that, okay, should I dissolve my company? I mean, I still have my company name, my brand, but I don't do anything with it. But I had to get to the point where I was okay with it. And just a season of destitution And just praying and asking God to just restore everything between the personal and even the professional. Mm-hmm. And God did that in no time. And then I had just decided to take this book that I had written on Facebook, beef it up, talking to my publisher, and produce, publish it. And honestly, it's doing way better than I expected. I didn't know. I'm just glad to have my writing out, just because it's my work, and so from this point, just being able to continue to write. Again, I love telling stories. If I can write all day, I'd write all day. And I would continue to do it. I like the e-chapter piece because I can actually get that immediate gratification, if you know what I mean. And they're like, okay, let's move. I'm like, oh, okay. Whereas you're writing a book, so it's months of putting it together, the editing, the graphics, and all those. Whereas the e-chapters, I can write a full chapter like I did, on Facebook. But the Facebook was a little smaller, so I'd write 250 to 500 words a day, Monday through Friday. Whereas now, when we sell the e-chapters, they're like 38 to almost 5,000 words per chapter. So, that's about.
No, this is so intense for me because it's just like I did not see this coming. So it's like, okay, Lord, you gave me a gift today.
Won't you do it?
And I'm like, I'm stupefied right now. I really am. I am trying my best to just really maintain my composure. And I just talked to somebody that was just like, we have to just find a space in our minds and we can just relax. And I was just like, okay, my woosah moment, sure. Let me woosah, dang nabbit, woosah. Okay, I did that. So now what?
right. You're like, okay, I can continue to keep doing this. Okay.
Like I could, but I might go to sleep from now on. For production.
Oh no, I was the opposite. We always had females from production. Always. I always had issues finding men. Especially men.
Well, we had to sing, but that was it. Like if you was like really acting or like getting a bigger role or anything like that, not unless it was called for and they had to call somebody that was already a name kind of situation.
Right. So, no, and again, I think maybe it's because I was so used to doing everything myself. And I wanted, if I was going to do a play that was reality based and more lines like Tyler Perry, I went with people I knew. I knew who could give me what I wanted. I didn't go for those who were in the play scenes of, we got Trinity Rat, the mainstream actors who sound less black. I didn't want that. So I knew who to tap. So I always, once in the very beginning, when I saw that I was having issues with finding particular characters, I always kept those things in my mind when I wrote the next play, so that I wasn't struggling casting.
Right. No, that makes sense. Oh, right. Wow. I know our worlds are so different, but they're still the same.
And then you said one thing about it being like a man's world and stuff like that. I never had issues with that. I guess my personality was always, I could do anything. I never counted. I might have thought more about the black and white issue versus female, male. Really, I did. Just because, I guess because I came from the rap scene, so right. I didn't feel discredited or less than because I was a female. All the men always accepted me. They always, when the guys did their thing, they knew if they needed someone, they would call me. All those things. I never felt like I had to be better than, or I had to do workarounds to be equal to men. So I guess that's probably why I never had that issue. And even with writing, I still had a lot of guys come out to my plays, which was weird. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think guys really liked it. And more of the repeats were beginning to be more of the men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when's the next play? I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? So they
Right.
became those faithful patrons. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, whatever. You know,
Let's do that.
ticket, right? $35.
Just like
You want VIP? So,
that's dope though. Like, because I don't know. I guess I didn't see it. I didn't see it that way only because I guess where I was, they didn't really allow too many girls or women to really do too much. You know, you weren't allowed to have, you know, all these things. And it was always quick for a man to kind of mansplain all these issues. Oh, well, you ain't gonna want to do that because, you know, but if you had a dude next to you, you'd be able to do. And I was like, really? For real? Like, what year is it? Like, how old are you? Like, what?
Well, you know, I think so too with you because you did collaborations with guys. I didn't do any collaborations. Not that I didn't want to. I kind of didn't need to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think, like I said, that was always my personality. Like, I can do that. And growing up with, you know, being the baby of 5 and just seeing a lot of things and experience a lot of things, I was always a out of the box. You know, if I can look and I can see that it's something I could do, I'll go do it.
Right.
So
I didn't collaborate with them. Like, I didn't do that until I got to the movie, and that was only because he did a dare with me, and we just started the movie. But other than that, I was like, do whatever. I've always been in a male-dominated field. Like, I used to sell cars, and I used to be an auto repair assistant manager for auto repair. So I'm like, I've always been in the man's field. So it was always dude telling me, oh, well, you don't know when you do. Dude,
you do that? Like, dude, hush.
I know, right? I'm like, I wish you would try to sit up here and mansplain some stuff to me. I'm going to need you to step back and give me 40 feet, bro. Nah.
No. 60 feet. And if the truth be so, we can do it. We just let you do it. So,
thank you. You don't want to mess up our nails, man.
Yeah, make yourself feel good. Yeah, sure.
I know. I don't get it. Like, I mean, I get that they feel like they just want to feel bigger than us or whatever, because I think for the most part that they are like really intimidated by women, because we do carry a humongous load and we can multitask in ways that they can't. I think that's I mean,
well, I know some guys like that, and I ignore them because I'm like, whatever. But I also have brothers too, so and my brothers never made us feel that way. My mother was an equal opportunity. We're going outside to clean up. Everybody's going outside. We're putting up wallpaper. Everybody's putting up wallpaper. Washing dishes. Everybody has a day. So, you know, it was never, because you're a girl, you should know. So, I don't know. So maybe that's why.
Right.
And I'm pretty tall. I'm not that tall, but I'm pretty average. So I'm like 5'9", and I would say I'm outspoken and aggressive. So I think sometimes people are like, maybe she's not the one. You know what I mean?
I'm like 5'3". They be like, she is. And how you? This is what they used to do to me at work. You're cute, and I'm like, I will cut you.
Do that again. Trying to draw back nubs.
I guess that was, you know, that was that playing field, you know, back then, and things like that, as, you know, different as it is now, because Lord knows women can do everything. Look at her. You can't tell her nothing.
Right.
So I'm like,
I agree with you. I'm married, but, you know, there are some things my husband can do better than me, and I'm okay. I'm like, please cook. I don't want to cook. Thank you. That's great. You know what I'm saying? You're going to do the laundry? How does your laundry come out better than mine? You know what? It really doesn't matter if you're going to do it. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
This is not a pissing contest. Go right on ahead.
My husband cooks so good too, girl. Oh, yeah, he's not from here too.
Yeah, God is good. Yeah, you're like, God is so good. You know what I needed when I needed it.
He said, "You shall be blessed."
And he said,
I love that. So, well, you got to tell us, what would you like to even tell my Mayan tribe? Like, the floor is yours.
In terms of just some inspiration or some encouragement or what?
Inspiration. We'll take it.
I guess it would be something that we always hear. There's nothing you can't do. Well, within reason. I can't be a doctor unless I go to school for it, because that's not my calling to heal people. There's some people that have those skills. You go to school to get the traditional skills, but they can go in a room and understand things that doctors do, or legal terminology and all those things. But we are gifted people, period. And when I say we are, God designed all of us for a purpose and a plan. And we work better when we work in our gifts. And I always wanted to sing and I always wanted to act. But when my friend, I used to always write songs and stuff like that. She's like, "Helen, you're really gifted at writing." And I never looked at it that way, because I always wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I had to stop and tell God, thank you for my gift, and accept it, and then work with it. And when I did that, I literally fell in love with writing. I really did. I didn't care to sing, as much. And I'm not the greatest singer at all. You know what I'm saying? If I need to do a lead, I would. In the back, I would. Do I have the greatest ear? No, but I know good music. You know what I'm saying? In terms of hearing it and being able to put music together. You might have to give me that note again if you want me to sing it, depending on what it is. I'm just saying. But God has us here, so embrace our gifts. And sometimes we literally have to say, God, what are my gifts? Where do you want me to work? How do you want me to work with what you've given me this time? Because God gives some of us multiple gifts. So what season is that gift irrelevant? If I can go back to years and years, there's so many things I would redo in the Lord, because there's so many things I just did out of turn. I did them because I could do this, but I would definitely say, write out your plan, talk to the Lord about it as much as you can, and God will direct you. He will open those doors, because I'm telling you, almost 3,000 books for an indie writer, and my publisher, we're both small together. You know what I'm saying? And now she has like 7 or 8 authors under her belt in under a year. You know what I'm saying? And she's hired an editor and a graphic artist, in under a year. So and she's been doing other things with her company, but when you're working in your gift, when it's time and the season is there, you'll see it and the doors will open. One thing I decided to do is to never give up. I wanted to give up so bad when doing the plays and all that. And I just was like, you know what, this is not working. How can I be the biggest production company in Rhode Island when I can't even rub 2 nickels together? You know what I'm saying? Going in debt twice. How can I do this, Lord? And as I looked all along, I did, even though I consulted the Lord, I did a lot on my own. And guess what? I was alone, but I decided never to give up, because as much as I tell people not to give up, me giving up, I would be a hypocrite.
Mm.
So instead of giving up, I just shifted. And, here I am.
Uh-huh.
And so if God says, a year from now, do a play or write another movie script, okay. Or go forth and produce it, okay. So I just stay in the, what do you need me to do? And I found that I am at more peace, and healthier, less stressed, and I'm aggravated, and and believe in yourself and believe in what you got. And I think that was one of the toughest things, because being a writer and not having the credentials in terms of, a degree in writing and all those things, I had people kind of shrug me off. And honest to God, one day I was so upset, and I'm like, Lord, I know you gave me this gift, and I was willing to go back to school, but I didn't feel like I needed to go back to school. I really didn't. Kind of now, I want to go back for creative writing. I really do. But then, and honest to God, I heard the Holy Spirit whisper, I am your credential. And I thought, and I left it like that. I know, probably, yeah, I started in the church. Absolutely. I know that I have a gift. Does it need work? Absolutely. I'm always willing to be better. So that's all I have to say is just continue. Continue.
That is amazing. Huh. I think she was talking to me, y'all. Y'all ain't get that? I'm just saying. Okay. I'll share. Okay. Thank you, my Mayan tribe. Woo! Y'all
Lady Myya.
I don't know what this is so amazing, because it's just like so many times that, we may not believe in ourselves, other people may see something in us and we shrug it off, and different things like that. But there is a reason why they see it. That very reason can be the thing that saves you from a whole lot of heartache, a whole lot of bad decisions, or just even having the long way around to get to what you were supposed to do in the first place. So
right.
I'm telling you guys, please just really, really hone in on the spirit, hone in on yourself, hone in on, those things that you're so good at. And it's there's no reason that you're not good at it. Like, there's no reason not to be good at it, because there's a reason that you have it, especially. So there.
No, you're absolutely right. Because one of the things I always say, especially to the house of God, that is that, in the house of God, God has given everyone a specific gift, and some might be the same, but for a different person or for a specific person. And it's to edify the body of Christ. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at our gifts, you know what I'm saying? And then we look at where we are, I think we can look within ourselves and say, you know what, this gift is going to work out better right now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of really trying to pursue this, doesn't mean you stop working on this side of the gift. But this gift here is more relevant right now. Let's just focus and put some Lord on it. You know what I'm saying? So that we can have better results and more peace. I think.
I know it, Chuck. I know it.
Yeah.
Look,
you get it, girl. I'm blessed.
I'm good. Good. This was why I had to do all these extra. Okay. I got all the extra steps so I can get. Okay. Yes, Lord. I'll take it. So, but you know what, Myya Tribe, I appreciate you. I really do. I just want you to know that, we're all behind you. We always want the best for you. And, there were a lot of good things said, and I really hope that you can hone in on some stuff and really hold on to it and just really hear it. Listen to it over again. Hear it. A lot of times we don't want to take it in, but, well, you're missing out on some stuff. So, that ain't my fault. That ain't her fault.
And you don't want to do that repeat.
Nope. Don't do it.
Thank you, Myya, Lady Myya, for this opportunity and this outlet, which is such a blessing, especially all the people that you are reaching and giving them an opportunity to network, share, and to understand. And even when they're not being interviewed, for the listeners who are able to find and hear, a word from the Lord sometimes. Yeah. Because sometimes you say a few things, you're like, that's confirmation. Thank you, Lord. And then you can move forward and get out of that rut sometimes. Or, move from that brick wall. Don't do it.
She did not just take everything that I wanted to say out of my mouth. Okay, it's all good. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. It was confirmation. It's all good.
Oh, I love it.
See? Won't he do it? So, but I thank you so much, you guys. So if you want to be a part of my podcast, Living Your Best Life with Lady Myya, or you want to be on the radio show, come on, y'all, do the dang thing. This is what we doing. We are making and supplying a demand, you guys. Certainly, you can hit me up on my
admin@ladymyya.com or ladymyya.com. That's MYYA. And you know why? Because your homegirl is special. I want to hear your story. Go ahead. You can also text me at 214-529-0980. I look forward to talking to you.